Haha, I remembered the microphone this time before I recorded the entire video and wasn't able to use it. I hope that the microphone's working now that I've actually turned it on. But welcome. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Today is day number 5 of Macto Masculus by Machismo. So we're going to talk about our lessons for today. But first, we're going to do just a little short recap over what happened last night. So last night was our date night. We went out to our restaurant of choice. We got a couple drinks. We did exactly what we were supposed to. We followed the homework assignment. And for me, as expected, it went exactly the way that I thought that it would. And so I'm interested to see how it went for you guys in your first attempts to change the atmosphere around you simply by being present in it and by having a exaggerated type of posture. Now, when I say exaggerated, we're really not exaggerating much of anything, right? We're actually just putting ourselves into a neutral posture. But in our modern age, it's kind of come to my attention that a normal posture for many people feels as aggressive as an exaggerated posture, right? Because most people aren't used to a healthy form of confidence. And so they misinterpret the confidence of your posture as posturing, as peacocking in a sort of way. They think of you not necessarily as a confident man, they think of you as an overly confident man. And that kind of distinction's quite important because we're not overly confident. We're just holding ourselves in a correct postural manner. That's it. All right. So regardless of what the modern interpretation is, whether people think you're being overly assertive with your posture, that's okay. We're making people uncomfortable so that they recognize and understand that it's not. That's not what this is. I'm not trying to make you uh, fear me. I'm not trying to be oppressive. I'm not trying to be anything other than what I am. And what I'm presenting to you is exactly what I am. It's who I am all the time. I stand up straight. I'm in the game. My eyes are out. I'm checking things. I'm being present at all times, and I'm confident in who I am. So I stand up straight. I I put my shoulders back. I make sure my chest is open. I have nothing to hide. I'm an open book, right? And that is different for people. It's confusing. Most people are very secretive. They're closed off. They don't want you to know the deep dark secrets. They don't want you to know the thoughts inside of their mind, and they definitely don't want you to know their insecurities. So they cover those things up with their life. And so they're not used to a person who stands with their chest open, really honestly, truly presenting themselves as exactly who they are, right? It's a different type of sensation. So how did it feel for you? Did you make any connections? You may or may not have, because there are other aspects that go into using this successfully, which ultimately comes to softening the blow, softening the hardness, the quote unquote aggressiveness of my exaggerated posture. And the way that you do that is by introducing a little bit more sensitivity to it. So instead of just sitting up straight and holding a stoic face, or resting bitch face, if you will, for lack of a better term, um, instead of having resting bitch face, just soften it up. Just with the corner of your mouth, just give yourself just an ever so slight crease. Not even a smile, just all it is. And for me, it's pretty exaggerated, right? You can see it quite well. My face is fairly animated, but it doesn't have to be a smile. You're just crease the corners of your lips, the corners of your mouth, and that softens the aggressive posture for people. It lets them know, oh, he's not angry, he's not aggressive. He seems like a nice guy. How do I know him? That's where it comes from. Your open book becomes enticing to them. It becomes a first impression that they want to kind of continue, and they may not know why. And you stir up emotions inside of people that are potentially confusing for them. And since they don't know how to react to those, the immediate thing that they do is they try to mimic what you're doing. They try to match your world. They try to come to your level, right? Because you just seem so inviting. So that's the biggest part about it. And the consistency behind it, being that pillar, that beacon, that lighthouse, something that people can look to and they can say, that man knows who he is. I like that. I kind of want to be like that. That's someone I could look up to, a role model of certain kind. That's what we're trying to be. Role models. Ideal role models, if possible. That's what we need to be. Men that are worth looking up to. Like anyone who's venerated in our society. Even fictional characters. What do you think superheroes are? Superheroes are just machismo men and women. They're the pinnacle examples of what we think humans can be. Are they bad? Well, I mean, there's super villains too, but ultimately, the depiction of what we think the greatest of humanity could be. We look up to that. And then we also create narratives in order to apply them to our lives, not just as a source of entertainment. Stories like that are indicative of our history, of our ancestry, of our past. They reflect where we came from. So now, today, when, while working on our posture throughout the week, I hope that you realize that there are certain things inside of your life that require a constant sort of attention. And that constant sort of attention can be overwhelming, right? It can be a lot. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go mow the lawn. Whatever it is, take the trash out, do the laundry or the dishes. That stuff it's hard because it's required, right? You have to do it constantly. And with that constant requirement, it's hard to maintain the motivation to do those things because you don't necessarily get a sense of reward out of them because they're a required task, right? So because of that, things can get neglected. And I know that there's things in your lives that you're neglecting. The reason I know that is because there's things in my life that I'm neglecting. So the biggest thing about today, we're going to learn to breathe, but we also need to clean something. We need to take what we know, what we do, what we've kind of learned in our discipline, in the live in the moment, in the present, in the here and the now, and by activating that kind of discipline, we're trying to build off of that. And so we're going to take one of the tasks. Oh gosh, my van door. We're going to take one of the tasks that we've been neglecting, because I know you've got one, and there's probably one that's quite big. Did I even unlock the door? It's possible that it's not unlocked. No, it's unlocked. But there's a task. I know there is. Oh my goodness. Whoa, there we go. Just needed my other hand. It's probably a big task, and I want it to be a big task. Okay? Something that you've been neglecting for a while, something that you think is overwhelming, something, whatever it is, right? But today, I want you to just take a deep breath, and I want you to do that project. I want you to finish it today. Complete it to its entirety. For me, I absolutely need to work on my van. I have this project up here. This is an area up above my front seats where I'm planning on putting my clothes, right? And I did my insulation just a little while ago. It's obviously not fully complete, but I do need to finish this so that I can get my clothes off of the floor of my van so that then I can complete the floor of my van as well. And these are all critical tasks that I need to do because it's getting freaking cold. And let me show you, I haven't done the floor of my van yet, right? I've got some kind of things that I've done to make it a little bit homey. But other than that, the main thing is the transfer of heat inside of my van is terrible. And since it's getting cold, oh man, by the time I'm waking up in the morning, I'm freezing. And everything inside of the van is freezing because the transfer of heat is just, I got no insulation. So I got to take care of those two tasks. And that's what I'm going to be working on today. So you guys need to make sure that you're picking something that's critical, that's important, that you've been avoiding. Work on it, get it done today. I need you to finish it. All right. And during that task, I want you to work on a breathing exercise. This is something that I learned during therapy. All right. And this is a shout out to Bonnie. She's my therapist. She's the best therapist that I've ever had. And the reason why she's the best therapist I ever had is because she's the first one that challenged me, that seriously challenged me, that heard my stories, was sympathetic to them, understood my plight, and then literally asked me, when are you going to consider the time for you to take control of your life? That's what she did. And so after that meeting, that was the last one I had with her, because she had given me a ton of tools to work on. She had given me the lessons. And so I was like, okay, I took that from her and I ran with it. And part of what she taught me is this breathing exercise. And it's something that I have to use, especially when I get into those highly anxious moments. Okay. And we're actually going to do this inside the van because it's freezing outside and I'm having a hard time maintaining my voice because I'm starting to shake just a little bit. So it's easy for us to get overwhelmed while we're flexing, while we're standing up, while we're sitting up, while we're holding ourselves in that tight position. There can be a tendency for you to hold your breath, right? And this can also be a tendency that crosses over to other exercises. If you like to lift weights in the gym, this is another example. While lifting weights, and especially if you're really trying to max yourself out, there's a tendency for you to you hold your breath and you're squeezing everything. What that does is it completely shifts the pressure of your body, of your central nervous system, your circulatory system. It shunts blood to certain areas, normally to your extremities, which is generally what you're trying to do when lifting really heavy weights. You're trying to increase oxygen to your extremities, which in most cases, they don't get the best circulation. It's your internal organs, right? They're the ones that are prioritized. So while you're doing that, you're increasing the pressure. You're actually forcing blood into whatever extremity is that you're using for your exercise. And you're really tensing it up. And the increased blood flow brings increased oxygen, which can help you in that critical moment to complete that exercise. However, with that increase in pressure, there's also that decrease. There's a fluctuation. When you're done with it, you're out of breath. It takes a little bit longer for you to recover. Maybe you did a little bit too much. And, oh man, now I need to really stretch out and things like that. Holding your breath in certain circumstances is very useful. It can help you get that last rep. But if you hold your breath too often and you continue to lose that ability to maintain a good level of oxygen, you can lose your breath much more easily and things like that. This can increase anxiety. This can increase the probability of depression. And these are physical, biological responses that your body is having to you not breathing well enough. Okay? So in moments where you're feeling anxious, when it's really hitting you and you're just having a hard time and you cannot get those thoughts out of your mind, whatever it is, I don't care. And that's irrelevant ultimately. But when you're getting overwhelmed with thoughts and you cannot battle them back, and you're just feeling overwhelmed and that darkness is creeping in and your chest is starting to tie up and your throat's starting to swell and you're just feeling like you're drowning and I need you to do this. Okay, it's called 4x4 breathing. And it's easy, and we've given you the principles already on how to do this, but you're going to breathe with your stomach, all right? So, with your stomach, right? You'll see a lot of athletes and you'll hear a lot of people that when they're talking about doing training and things like that, they talk about, using your diaphragm, breathing with your stomach instead of your chest and things like that. And this is an example where you want to breathe with your stomach. I try all the time to breathe with my stomach, not with my chest. The reason why that is because it's a much more innate way of breathing. If you watch infants, especially while they're sleeping, when they breathe, it's not with their chest. It's all stomach, all stomach, all stomach. It's the cutest thing ever, but that's the way that we are best designed to get the most oxygen possible, is through breathing with your stomach. Okay, so 4x4 breathing, what you're going to do in this case, all right, you're having anxiety, you're really struggling, you're at that critical moment and you're just like, whether that's physically or that's mentally, right? You're getting to that, I'm hyperventilating almost. I'm having a panic attack. If you're getting into that moment, I need you to do this. I need you to stop. I need you to stop and I need you to tell yourself, I need to breathe. It's time to breathe. I need to breathe. Even if you're panicking, you're starting to cry and you're emotional. I need to breathe. Call out to yourself by name, Justin. Breathe. Justin, you need to breathe. It's okay. Just breathe. Now I'm giving myself a fake panic attack just by doing it, but this is what it's like, right? I don't just in that moment, just you need to breathe. Trigger it. Okay, breathe. Sit up straight. I want you to take a 4-second breath in with your diaphragm. I want you to fill up your stomach and I want you to press it out as much as you can. Okay, ready? And then I want you to hold it. Hold it for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to exhale and I want you to empty everything. Exhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way down. We want all of the air out, and I want you to hold this 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now inhale deep. 4 seconds. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale deep. Everything out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for that 4. Now inhale. That's 4. Hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And then from here, after you finish your 4th cycle and you've exhaled and you've held it, I want you to just relax everything and I want you to take a few normal breaths. Just okay. It's going to be okay. That's 4x4 breathing. 4 seconds, deepest inhale into your gut. Hold 4 seconds. Seriously, all that air. 4 seconds. Exhale hard for 4 seconds. Get everything out with your stomach. Exhale. Hold. Like you're about to gasp for air. 4 seconds. Do that. And then after you're done, inhale for 4 seconds. 4 times. 4 cycles. And then take normal breaths afterwards. And just tell yourself, Justin, it's going to be okay. Some things you can't control. And if you need to do more, do some more cycles. But you have to understand you could pass yourself out if you do it too intensely. So don't pass yourself out. 4x4 breathing. Take some normal breaths. This is going to help regulate your oxygen. It's also going to stimulate your nervous system. When you are able to use your diaphragm, there's a certain nerve, a very important nerve that's close to the diaphragm towards the back of your spine. If you can stimulate that nerve, that will send an autonomic response to release positive hormones, the good ones, the dopamines and things like that. Okay? And you can physically change your uh, everything, your mental perspective by doing this. You can shift out of that darkness and you can take care of yourself in that moment. And what is that? What is that? That's coming back to neutrality. Remember? If you need to reset, if you need to get back, if you need to reclaim what was missing or you've got off track, you can 4x4 way breathe yourself back to neutrality, back to the present, living in anxiety, entertaining those thoughts. That's fantasy. You can't control that. That's outside of your realm. So you can bring yourself back by breathing into it. 4x4 breathing. It physically brings you back to this world so you can live in the present. Use this task, this lesson, use this lesson, this breathing lesson while you're doing your task because you might feel overwhelmed. And if you do, that's good. You should, because by the time you're done, you will have earned a sense of accomplishment. You will have earned it. Take care of the task. Breathe your way through it. We already know how to suck in. Now you need to know how to suck in, hold, and then push out. 4x4 way. Okay? I hope you guys have an absolutely fabulous day. I'm so excited to hear about anything that you've discovered, any of the progress that you've made. Let me know. Do it in the comments. Hit me up on any of my other social media. I'm excited to learn about you. Macto Masculus by Machismo. Talk to you later.